Good morning to all my wonderful viewers out there. Yes, today, even though it's Saturday, it's a little bit rainy, it's a little bit sad outside. I'm not taking the weekend off. Of course, I'm recording more videos for you guys. We got a lot to talk about, and also today's video is unfortunately going to be centered around something I forgot to talk about a week ago. But I don't feel so bad about it because it's still available. So if it was sold out and you were waiting for me to cover it because it was gonna release and you missed out because you were waiting for the video, I don't feel as bad because you can still buy it. And I'll put the links in the description below if you guys are interested in picking this bad boy up. What am I going to be talking about specifically today that has released and released a week ago? Well, it's another collaboration with Doc Martens, and it's another pair of 1460s that they released as part of their 1460 Remastered program. I know that's still really vague. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about the third collaboration that Doc Martens has done as part of their 1460 Remastered program. And in collaboration 3, we're going to be talking about the Beams and Babylon collaboration. It's a two-way collaboration, which is interesting. I thought that they would, do number 3 with Babylon and then number 4 with Beams, but no, they're just like, you know what? Beams, Babylon, you're coming together and you're working on the third one. So, okay, I guess that's the case. Now, if you don't know what the 1460 is, or even what the 1460 Remastered program is, come on guys, what are you doing? You're slacking off. The 1460 is one of Doc Martens' most iconic shoes. Probably one of my favorite shoes of all time. It's literally just an amazing silhouette. It works with so many aesthetics. It's an amazing shoe. It's an amazing, amazing shoe, and it even comes in vegan leather. What else could you ask for? They've literally, Doc Martens has thought of everything. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So what has happened is, in 2020, the famous 1460 is turning 60 years old. So it's it's 3 times my age. That's a pretty wild concept to think about, that a sneaker's, well, no, it's not that wild. It's not that wild, but 3 times 60 years old? This shoe is old, man. This is an old one. But that's why this 1460 Remastered program is really interesting. So what Doc Martens is doing to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the 1460, they're bringing on a bunch of designers to redesign and make their own version of the 1460. So to start it off with this year, we got the Bape 1460. Then secondly, we got the Raf Simons 1460, a very punk inspired one. I kind of wish it was a little bit more punky, but that's a conversation for another time, and we covered it in the previous 1460 video. So if you want to go check that out, that'll be in the description section below, and you can check out the Bape one, you can check out the Raf Simons one, and then you can stay up to date with now the third collaboration, which, as I said, is between Beams and Babylon. So from what I can gather, I don't actually know a lot about Beams or Babylon, but Beams seems to be a Japanese brand that focuses on, it's hard to find, well, without looking at a lot of their pieces, it seems to be that they focus on a lot of traditional Japanese wear, or at least they focus on trying to get the fit of traditional Japanese wear in their pieces. So they may be inspired and they may do collections based on different things like Americana and stuff like that, but their main goal as a brand is to get a Japanese fit for whatever they do. So I don't know much more about Beams on that regard. If you guys know more about Beams, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I'm not as knowledgeable as I want to be with Japanese brands, but that's all I can really find about them. I mean, maybe if I dived into their collections more, I'd know a little bit more about them, but I only need to know about them for this video, so I wasn't going to do like a 10-hour research paper on what is Beams, I was just going to do a quick little look. Now, Babylon seems to be a American-based, I wouldn't say skatewear, but I would say a clothing brand that goes for the skater aesthetic. And I think even the Hypest article agrees with me on that and says that in the article. So yeah, now speaking of that Hypest article, that's what we'll be using today to cover this 3-way collaboration and go over all the images and stuff like that. Now, if you guys are interested in this collaboration, and it's, I don't know if it's already sold out in the Doc Martens web store, but if it is, I'll provide a link to the Babylon page, And actually, they have them still in stock. See, no one ever really thinks about going to the collaborators pages and having a look to see if they sell it there, you know? That's the big brain move there, because everyone will go to the Doc Martens store and buy it from the Doc Martens store. But did we think to check out the Babylon store or the Beam store? Most of the time, no. Most people forget about it. So I'll put the Babylon link in the description section below if you like this 1460, and you can go pick it up there. It's retailing for 170 USD on their page from memory. So yeah, definitely go check that out down below. But we should have a look at this shoe. We should have a look at what their collaboration looks like and get a feel of what we are getting into if you were going to buy it and have a look into that. So we'll head over to the Hypest article and have a look at the 1460. But if you guys want me to keep covering the 1460 remaster program, don't forget to like the video, comment down below that you want to see more Doc Martens collaborations. And if you want me to cover more Doc Martens collaborations or releases, just let me know. I love Doc Martens. Amazing brand. Anyway, let's head over to the Hypest article and have a look at the Beams Babylon Doc Marten 1460. And here they are. Now, I know they don't look like anything special at first glance, but it's all about in the little intricate little details there. So we'll dive into what the article has to say, and then we'll have a look at the 6 images we've got of the actual 1460s here. So, exclusive, Doc Martens recruits Babylon and Beams for 1460 remastered collaboration, inspired by 60s punks and rude boys. Doc Martens has followed its collaborations with Raf Simons and Bape with the 3rd installment of its 1460 Remastered series. The latest joint releases sees the footwear label work with LA-based Babylon and Japanese stalwart Beams for an all-new take on the 1460 boot. The collaboration mixes Babylon's skate aesthetic with Beams' more understated design, overall taking inspiration from rude boys of the 1960s. Beams' classic orange color features throughout, hitting the boot's laces, heel loop, and welt stitching, as well as detailing on the forefoot bed and braces inside the heel stripe. Other details include a triple branded lace charm, chaos embossed on the sidewall, and Babylon's flipped peace sign on the tongue. I did notice that initially. I had to look at that and I was like, that upside down? That's not how it's meant to be, right? It's meant to be with the prongs on the bottom, not on upwards. But I was right. Okay, cool. Take a look at the Babylon X Beams X Doc Martens 1460 in the gallery above, and expect the boot to arrive on Doc Martens web store and select stockists on March 28th. Now, I released it quite a few, and I don't know if they're sold out in most of the stockists, but as I said, the Babylon store, by the looks of it, still has some left in most sizes, so I would say just go to that description section below, have a look. It should be there if I remember to put it there. I hope so. I hope I do. I think I will put it there, but just remind me. Now, we've also got the Doc Martens recently debuted the 1461 collaboration with Raf Simons. I might cover that on the channel. Definitely like this video and let me know in the comment section below if you want me to cover the 1461 collaboration with Raf Simons. I can definitely do that as well. I was actually quite interested in it, but if you guys really want to see it on the channel, I can definitely do that for you guys. Anyway, let's have a look at the image. Now, it said it was inspired by punk and rude boys. Now, from what I know with punk and rude boys, the similarity there is anti-establishment. That's what I see. From what I know, rude boys was a culture that came out of Jamaica and was brought to the UK because of Jamaican immigrants, and the whole aesthetic of rude boys is the music and the clothing they wore while fighting for their rights was quite tailored. It was suits, it was everything like that. So this shoe is meant to capture tailored or stylish anti-establishment attitudes, and I mean, the black color is the best way to do that, right? When I think of anti-establishment, I think every anti-establishment movement has always worn black clothing. Don't quote me on that. Maybe hippies didn't wear black, but, you know, American hippies, but, you know, punks, rude boys with their tailored black suits. Maybe it's UK ones. Maybe it's UK anti-establishment subcultures always wore black. Don't quote me on that because I don't know all the anti-establishment groups over the decades, but maybe there is a correlation there. Maybe it is that case. Now, they've switched out the usually gum outsole here with a black one. They've just gone full black across the board, and the only change of color detailing that you get is in the orange, which from memory was Beams' iconic color. Beams' classic orange color. There you go. Beams' classic orange color. So I guess they use... I remember I didn't know a lot about Beams. I assume they must do very Japanese tailored pieces with a lot of orange in them, which is cool. I think orange is a very underrated color that a lot of brands don't usually use and take hold of. I think it looks really, really nice. You know, an orange knit sweater. Ooh, you know, like, you can't go wrong with stuff like that. Anyway, back to the shoe. Let's have a look at what's going on. So as I mentioned, all the stitching is done in orange. It's very subtle though. It's got chaos with the upside down peace sign at the back here. It's got the orange laces, which you can swap out with what looks like a darker brown and an orange. Although in the first image, it looked very gray. I don't know why in the further images it looks a little bit more brown. Maybe it's just the lighting, but maybe it's a light gray. I don't know. This one looks quite brown and this one for me. Maybe I'm tripping out. Yeah, gray brown. We'll label it as a gray brown. But anyway, we've got the upside down peace sign with Doc Martens at the top, chaos down the bottom, and I assume on the sides it says Babylon and Beams here. It looks like it because something starts with B but then gets cut off, and it looks like something starts with B there, but I can't see it exactly. It's hard to see with the photo shoot they've done. This is a pretty cool one. Oh, what does it say here? With soles bouncing. Bouncing. Orange detailing on the back, orange detailing on the pull tag. Don't really know what the reference on the tongue there means. We've got Doc Martens 60 years Beams X Babylon on the inner sole, so you can have that. But if you wear them, they're just going to wear away anyway. All in all, it's a nice little color change for the Doc Martens 1460s. It's a nice little variation. Does it capture punk and rude boys' mentality and style? I mean, they've done it in black, and I think that's a very safe way to say it. And it's a very clean silhouette, so they've kind of by default already fit that aesthetic because it's a very well thought out silhouette, the 1460. I would say that it captures it quite well. I mean, I'm not a rude boy myself, as you can see, I'm not dressed up in a suit, more like a hip hop styled thrasher sweater, but that's, you know, that's a different story. And yeah, I don't know, I would love to hear for some rude boys in the comment section below. I mean, or rude gals, if that's a thing. Does this capture what you would say is your culture or your subculture? I don't know. To me, from my envisionment, I would say yes. But, I mean, it all comes down to personal opinion. Some people may say no, some people may say yes. But either or. Either way, if you exclude that whole idea that it's, you know, it's inspired by punk and rude boys, if you just look at it objectively as like a 1460, it's a cool little variation of it. It's not too crazy. I think this could hit off with, you know, punk enthusiasts, rude boys, but also just your everyday Doc Marten consumer. I'm pretty okay with this. I mean, it's taking influence from when Doc Marten, well, when the 1460 first came out. So I assume that a bunch of punks wore this. I assume rude boys probably wore the 1460 or the 1461. So I would say it works. I would say this works. It's a pretty cool collaboration. It does everything it needs to do. And from what I know, at a retail price of 170 USD, pretty steezy. But I want to know your thoughts and opinions, guys. How do you feel about the Babylon Beams collaboration? Is it as good as the Raf Simons one? Is it as good as the Bape one? What's your favorite one so far out of the three? Is it the Bape one? Is it the Raf Simons one? Or is it this one, the Babylon and Beams one? Which one would you pick up if you had the choice out of all three? Are you excited for the next one, which is part 4? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions on the 1460 Remastered program, or more specifically, the Babylon Beams collaboration on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or, as always, in the comment section below. That's it, guys. That is the Doc Martens Beams Babylon collaboration for their 3rd installment in the 1460 Remastered program. Quite a nice collaboration, a little bit more subtle than the previous two versions that we've seen in this 1460 program. This one was inspired by punks and rude boys of the 60s. I think it captured it quite well. It will be quite hard to capture a whole overall aesthetic in a shoe unless the aesthetic or the subculture's aesthetic is like super out there or super easy to do, because it's like, you know, with punks they wore, you know, really like big accessories, like big ear accessories, facial accessories, and like you'd be able to literally grab those accessories and put them on a shoe like Raph did with his collaboration. With Rude Boys, it's more about the tailored look and the music and the struggle against the establishment, and that's a lot harder to capture in a shoe. But I think they've done a good job. I think they've done probably the best they probably could do with the shoe. I mean, how else would you do it? How would you guys do it? If you had to capture punk and Rude Boy aesthetics in a shoe in a 1460, how would you go about doing it? Would you do it differently to how Beams and Babylon's done it, or would you very much do the same? I would love to know how you feel about it, guys. I think it's a very nice 1460, even removing the inspiration and just looking at it objectively at this as a colorway, as a, you know, silhouette. It's nice. It's a nice shoe. As I said, I will put a link in the description if you guys are interested in picking it up, because it's still available. But that is the third release. I'm looking forward to number 4. Hopefully we can cover number 4 before it releases instead of afterwards. I think that's a running trend on this channel at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on it. I think it's pretty cool. I would consider picking it up if it released in a size 16, but I had a look on the Babylon store, and the biggest size it goes up to is a 14, so your boy's gonna miss out, unfortunately, but what can you do? That's usually what I have to do with most of these releases. I'm sitting here commenting on them, and I'm like, can't even pick half of this stuff up. Clothing, it's fine. I can pick up most clothing releases. Shoes, I'm basically limited to Jordans, Yeezys, and Converse. That's basically all I can buy. Oh, and normal Doc Martens, not collaboration Doc Martens, but normal Doc Martens and Timberlands. So I do have a few options, but none of these special awesome collaborations. But that's all right. That's okay. I'll just comment on them, and you guys can enjoy them. We'll just deal with that. We'll just do it that way. But that's all I've really got to say about the third installment in this 1460 program. So until the next 1460 remastered release, until the next Doc Marten collaboration, until the next streetwear video, guys, I'll catch you later.